Alright, so today we're going to be working on finding the area of compound shapes. And what I mean by compound shapes is we worked on the basic shapes, a triangle, a rectangle, a parallelogram, a trapezoid. Now we're going to be looking at shapes that aren't classified as one of those basic shapes. They're made up of, it's a compound shape, so it's made up of those basic shapes, but they're just not quite the same. And so, for example, the first thing that we have to be able to do is when we see these compound shapes, we have to be able to break them up into basic shapes. And so for this very first shape, we have a pentagon. It's a 5-sided polygon. And I can see basic shapes. I can see a rectangle here, and I can see a triangle here. And so we can see that the two basic shapes that make up this compound shape are a rectangle and a triangle. So I'm just going to fill that in here, rectangle and triangle. And the reason that we have to be able to break this up is that we have to find the area of the rectangle, the area of the triangle, and then we're going to add them together, compound them together to make this whole shape's area. And so for this next shape, we see it looks kind of like an uppercase T. This uppercase T, the basic shapes that I see a rectangle here, and I also see a rectangle at the bottom, or actually this is a square, 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. So I see a rectangle and a square. So in order to find the area of these compound shapes, we're going to be taking the first area, finding the area of the first, finding the area of the second, and then adding them together. We're also going to be finding perimeter today, and remember that perimeter is the area on the outside of the shape. And so we'll be finding perimeter of these shapes as well when we go on to the inside of our foldable. So then this very last shape technically is a trapezoid. If you turn it on its side, we could use the trapezoid formula, which is 1/2 base, 1/2 of the times the quantity, base 1 plus base 2 times the height, which in this case would be 12 from one base to the other. We also could recognize this trapezoid as two basic shapes and see it as a triangle and as a rectangle. So kind of two different ways to look at that one. That one we have two different methods for finding area of this compound shape. Today we're really going to be focusing on breaking shapes down into basic shapes, finding the area of each basic shape, and then adding them together to get the total. So that's why I'm going to choose to divide them instead of using the trapezoid formula today for shapes that look like that. So again, today we're going to be finding area of compound shapes, and in order to do that, we're going to have to break down our compound shapes into our basic shapes, which included rectangle, triangle, trapezoid, and parallelogram. And once we're able to do that, then we're able to find the area of these by finding the area of each basic shape and then adding them together.